Good morning, all. In the last session, we have discussed the VHDL conceptual model, and so in the conceptual model of VHDL, so a VHDL model will have VHDL entity and VHDL architecture. The VHDL entity, it describes the external interfaces. So how the digital device can communicate with the other devices. So which in terms of the inputs and outputs. So the VHDL entity describes about the interfacing ports regarding of the input and output. Whereas the VHDL architecture, so it describes the functionality, or it describes the behavior of the digital device or the model. So for in VHDL, so to build a model, so mainly we require VHDL entity and VHDL architecture. But in VHDL, the digital devices can be built using the digital units and design units or the design elements. So in VHDL, we have 5 design units. So what are the 5 designer units? The 5 designer units are the entity declaration, architecture, body, configuration declaration, package declaration, package body. So these are the 5 design units. Using these units in VHDL, we can build a digital system or a digital circuit. So here the first one is the VHDL entity. So what is the VHDL? So in VHDL, the VHDL entity is declared by the entity declaration. So the entity is specified by the entity declaration. So the VHDL entity is specified by the entity declaration. So the entity declaration is one of the design element, design unit. And the entity declaration, it specifies the name of the entity, so which is to be model, and it also specifies, it lists the set of interface ports here. So the entity declaration, it specifies the 2 things. One is the name of the entity, so the device which is going to be model. So the name of that model is specified by the entity declaration, and the entity declaration will also specify the set of inputs and output ports here. It will also specify the set of inputs and output ports. And here the entity describes the external view of the circuit. So the external view, in the sense, the number of inputs to that model and the number of outputs to that model. So the entity describes the external view of the circuit, so which is described in terms of the number of ports and their direction of flow. So when you say that it is an input port, always the input port, it accepts the data or it takes the data only. So which means that the input data port, it reads the data, whereas the output ports, it always write the data to the out. So the VHDL entity, it describes the external interface. So in the external interface, it lists the number of input ports and number of output ports. So here you can see that an external white box, a round box, so which represents the entity of the digital device, where the architecture, it describes the behavior or the functionality of that digital device. So simply the entity, it describes the about the input and output ports. So now in this VHDL language, so for these entity and architecture configurations, a package declaration or package body, for design elements or the design units, they will have the syntax. So the VHDL, in VHDL, the entity syntax is, so here you can see the entity syntax here. So the entity is a reserved word with the entity name is, and a port. So the port, it is regarding of the input and output signals. The port is regarding of the input and output signals. So to specify that input signals and output signals, the VHDL use a reserved word is port. To specify the name of the entity, we are using the entity reserved word. So entity reserved word. Entity is a reserved word and the entity name is a user defined word. So user can give any name to this one. So entity. Entity name is port, signal names, and in that signal or the signal names, so we have the three, here we have the two things here. One is mode of the signal and the other one is the type of the signal. Okay, so whatever the input and output signal that we specify, so it will be distinguishing as the mode of the signal and the type of the signal here. So we will specify the number of inputs and outputs in this using this port reserved word. And this entity is end. It is ended with the and another user word, I mean the reserved word keyword is entity name. So it is the entity syntax, the general form, how we can define the entity of a model. So it is defined as the entity is a reserved word with the entity name is. So is also a reserved word. And then what is the main purpose of the entity? The entity, it describes the number of inputs and number of outputs. So now how we can define the number of inputs and outputs to a corresponding digital model? So that is using the keyword port, using the keyword port. So in this, the signal name is there and the signal name is distinguished as the mode of the signal. We will see what are the mode of the signals and the signal type. So we will here list the signals, a group of signals. It may be of input and output, and the entity is end with the reserved word is end with the entity name. So now here's, if you see here, the entity name is a user identified or user selected. So the user can give any of the name to this one. And the next one is signal names here. So the signal names are also the user identifier or the user selected here. User identifier or the user selected. So the user selected identifier to name the external interface signals. And then the mode. So the mode is one of the 4 reserved words here. What are the reserved words? We will see now. It is one of the 4 reserved words specifying the signal direction here. Suppose if the signal is, let the signal is the input signal. So which means always the input signal, it is accepts only the data. It cannot write the data to the external word. So here the mode is one of the 4 reserved words here. One of the 4 reserved words. And then the signal type. So here the signal type is an inbuilt one, or you can also take the user defined signal type. and inbuilt you can take it, or the signal type can be defined by the user by using the some other package declaration. So this is the entity syntax here. So this is the entity syntax. So how to write the entity for a VHDL model? Okay, so entity name is port, and we will specify the list of signals, and the signal is distinguished as a mode and the signal type. Okay, and finally it is end with the end entity name, and with the entity name. So now the entity name is a user selected or the user identified. So we can give our uh, uh, own entity name. And similarly, the signals also can be the user own names here. And but the user has to select now one of the 4 reserved words for the mode. So he has to choose one of the 4 reserved words here, and also he has to specify the type of signal. I mean that the signal may be a bit signal. In yesterday also we have touched that one. So the signal may be a bit signal, I mean a single digit of either 0 or 1, or it may be a vector signal. So the vector means it is a group of signal lines. Like you can say that a bus. A bus is a group of lines or a group of signal lines. So which carries a group of signals. So when it is a group of signals, so which is identified with a vector here. So now the signal type may be a bit or it may be a vector type. Okay, so now we will see the what are the, okay, here you can see the an example for the entity declaration. You can see the example for the entity declaration, and in this example, so we have considered the entity name is the half adder. So we know what is a half adder circuit. So half adder circuit, and an half adder can add the 2 binary numbers. An half adder perform addition between the 2 binary numbers. Say the 2 binary numbers or the 2 binary inputs are A and B. Say, and an half adder consists the 2 outputs. An adder circuit consists the 2 outputs. One is sum and second is can. So now the entity here is describing the input and output ports of a logic circuit. So now in this example, what is the logic circuit that we have considered? Half adder circuit. So now we are not showing any half adder circuit here. You're just representing with a block, and to that block you're specifying the input ports and you're specifying the output ports. So for this half adder logic circuit has 2 inputs and has 2 outputs here. So now how to specify the entity to for this circuit now? So example, we have considered half adder, and now for to this half adder, so how to write the entity to this half adder circuit? So from the syntax of the entity, if you observe, so it starts with the user, the keyword is entity, the keyword is entity. So entity with the entity name. So in our example, we have considered the entity name is, entity is half adder. Therefore, the entity name is now half adder. So entity half adder is, and then in the next, what we are doing, we are specifying the input and output ports here. We are specifying the input and output ports. We are specifying the input and output ports. You know from the example, what are the number of inputs? I mean the input ports are A and B. So now A comma B, you can individually also specify this A colon in bit B colon in bit also. You can also write it as A colon in bit, B colon in bit. Individually, you can also specify it, or you can separate the different input signal with the separated comma. A comma, B comma, colon. So there are two inputs now. Okay, two inputs. And so here, if you observe, what is that? What is there in the syntax here? It is the mode here, right? So now in this, the A and B are, in this example, the A and B are the input ports. So that's why here the mode is now it becomes input. And these are all a single bit of information lines. So it is defined with the signal type as bit here. So you understand? So in the port, you're declaring the input and output signals, right? So the input signals are A and B. The input signals are A and B. And so you have to specify that whether it is a input or output, because the VHDL, it cannot describe its own, because the user has to specify the type of the signal or the mode of the signal. So here the mode of the signal is input and the type of the signal is bit signal. So now the A and B are the input signals. They are bit signals. I mean that one single line information. And now the second one is the output ports here. So now from the example, the output ports are, it has two signals. The two signals are sum and carry. So in a short form, S and C. Or you can take it as a sum or carry. So in this example, it is sum and carry. So now the sum is a signal and carry is a signal. Okay. And now the sum and carry are the type of mode for these two is sum and carry is output, because these are the output port signals from the example that we have considered. And now what is the type of the signal for sum and carry? The type of the signal to the sum and carry is again bit here, because these are all individual signal lines. Okay, so this is for the entity declaration for the example half adder here. So you understand this. So simply how to describe the how to declare the VHDL entity for a model. So here the model is example we have considered half adder circuit. So and we assumed that it has two input half adder. So the half adder is what does it do? The half adder, it adds the two binary numbers and it provides the two output signals sum and carry. So with that information, here you can declare the entity for that model. For the half adder model, you can declare. So you understand this? And if you closely observe here, the entity name and is port, and also as far as the syntax, if you see the signals, input signals and output signals, each signal is ended with a semicolon, right? This one, right? And even also the sum also see semicolon. But now see for the last one, observe the last signal, how you are declaring is carry out, that is the mode of the signal and the type of the signal. But here the semicolon is after the bracket here, right? So this is the syntax for the entity. So while you're writing the entity for a model, you have to remember that the last signal semicolon, for the last signal you are ending with a semicolon. Each signal is ending with the semicolon. Look at the each signal end. So A and B, two signals, and they are ended with a semicolon. And the sum is the output signal, which is a bit type, and with the semicolon. And now for the last signal in that entity is carry you're declaring, and for that your ending the signal after you're putting that semicolon after the bracket here. So that is the syntax for the entity. Suppose if you have keep this semicolon at this place, that shows you as an error here. That shows you as an error here. Okay, and then entity half adder. Actually, they are saying that it is an optional words, but in our practice, or even when we are writing the VHDL code, we will write that end with the entity name. End with the entity name. See this. See here. End with the entity name. Usually, you can write the end is also enough, but we will write it as end with the entity name so that we can easily identify the beginning and ending of the each entity. So is it clear? Is it okay? My entity declaration is అర్థమవుతుందా? ఏమా మానస, దుర్గా ప్రసాద్,
సార్
ఏమా ఇది అర్థమైందా ఎంటిటీ అన్నది?
అర్థమైంది సార్.
And now coming to this VHDL signal modes. So what are these signal modes? So in the syntax, go back to the slide. Go back to the slide. So see here in the syntax of, in the entity syntax, for declaring the input and output signals, we have a mode option. We have a mode option. So now these are called the VHDL mode. VHDL signal modes. So now we will go to that slide. So see here, there are 4 reserved words here. There are 4 reserved words. So what are the 4 reserved signal modes here? So for declaring the type of signal, I mean the mode of the signal. So we have the 4 modes here. One is in mode, out mode, in out, and buffer. So the in mode is a unidirectional port. It is a unidirectional port, and the values of the input port can be read here. If you declared the signal as a input mode, if you declared input signal, if you declare the signal as a input mode, so now the signal is a unidirectional port. It is a unidirectional port, and the values of the input port can be read here. So that is the signal indicating that it is an input signal, and data can be, so here don't get confused here. Here 2 views here. One is with respect to the preceding device. I mean that if one of the signal output will be acting as a input signal to the other device, isn't it? When you have two devices here, when you have a 2 devices here, the output of the signal of the first stage, it can act as the input to the second stage, which means that if the signal here, it can be returned at the output. Say for the first gate, if the signal is returned at the output, then the return signal value will be the read at the input of the second one, right? If suppose if the input, if the output of the signal is can read, then the read of the output of the first can write the data into the second. So it is the only the point of view you are looking into that device here. So as it is an input signal, always the input signal, what it do, it acts up the data. I mean that it reads the data from the device point of view. అదే మీరు వేరే డివైస్ ని చూసారనుకోండి, ఆ డివైస్ కి అక్కడ ఏమవుతున్నది, అవుట్పుట్ అవుతుంది. ఆ అవుట్పుట్ అనేది అక్కడ రైట్ అనుకుంటే ఇక్కడ సిగ్నల్ రీడ్ అవుతుంది. అక్కడ మీరు సిగ్నల్ రీడ్ చేశాను అవుట్పుట్ దగ్గర మీరు అనుకున్నప్పుడు, ఇక్కడ ఈ సెకండ్ స్టేజ్ దగ్గరకు వచ్చేటప్పటికి ఏమవుతుంది, అది రైట్ అవుతుంది. కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ మీరు కన్ఫ్యూజ్ ఏమవ్వద్దు. కెన్ బి రిటర్న్ ఆర్ కెన్ బి రీడ్. విత్ రెస్పెక్ట్ టు ది వన్ ఎండ్ we are defining these 2 statements here. Okay, so I am defining that it is a unidirectional port and which reads the data into the device, which reads the data into the entity, right? And then output here. So the output is one of the mode of the signal, and it is also unidirectional port. So unidirectional means always they move in only one particular direction only. So here this signal indicating that the output value can be read here. Sorry, the output value can be returned to the next device. Can be returned to the next device. So I am defining with respect to that the input always accepts the data, so the input always reads the data, and the output always sends the data, so that I am saying that the output can be returned to the external world. Okay, దీనికి ఆపోజిట్ కూడా తీసుకోవచ్చు. ఏ విధంగా? by seeing that from the external device. సో అలా కాకుండా మనం విత్ రెస్పెక్ట్ టు డివైస్ చెప్తున్నాను కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ ఇచ్చిన స్టేట్మెంట్ ఒకటి, నేను చెప్తున్న స్టేట్మెంట్ ఒకటి, బట్ రెండు కరెక్టే అవి. అది మనం చూసే వ్యూ బట్టి ఉంటుంది. And the next mode of the signal is in-out signal. So in the name that you can see that in-out. Actually, the in and out are the unidirectional. As of now, the in and out are the unidirectional. So they will flow in only one direction. So either it accepts the data or it send the data. It can read the data or it can write the data. Input reads, output writes. And now here it is the in and out. So in and out is a bidirectional port. And this in and out, it indicating that the signal can be input or the output. You can use it for the two purposes. Either you can read the data or you can write the data. So from that in and output port, you can accept the data into the entity, or you can send the data from the entity to the next external device. In and out, bidirectional port. And the fourth mode of the signal is buffer. The buffer is also a bidirectional port here. The in-out and buffer, these two are the bidirectional ports only. But what is the difference between the in-out and buffer? So here the in and out, you see, it is indicating that a signal and can be for the input and output. So it can take any of the signal. So suppose if you define the A signal as a in-out signal, which means that the A signal can accept the data, it can read the data, and the same A signal can also use for the write the data. I mean, it is used to send the data to the other device. But what is the buffer here? The buffer is also that a signal, and it is an output of the entity, and its value can also be read inside of the entity's architecture. Insides of the entity architecture here. So the difference, if you see here, so the buffer, it differs from the input port. It differs from the, it differs from the input output port is it cannot have the more than one source of the signal. అంటే ఇక్కడ ఇన్ అండ్ అవుట్ అనేది ఏమవుతుంది, దేర్ ఇట్ విల్ హ్యావ్ ది మెనీ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ సోర్సెస్. అంటే ఎలాంటి సిగ్నల్ అయినా సరే మనం ఇక్కడ ఏ సిగ్నల్ కనెక్ట్ చేస్తే అది రీడ్ సిగ్నల్ అయితే రీడ్ చేస్తుంది, రైట్ సిగ్నల్ అయితే రైట్ చేస్తుంది, బికాస్ ఇట్ ఈస్ అ ఇన్ అండ్ అవుట్ సిగ్నల్. బట్ బఫర్ సిగ్నల్ ఏమవుతుంది అంటే ఇట్ విల్ హ్యావ్ ఓన్లీ వన్ సోర్స్ హియర్. అంటే ఏమవుతుంది, సపోజ్ నెక్స్ట్ డివైస్ లో బఫర్ ఒకటి ఉంది, మన ప్రెసెంట్ డివైస్ లో బఫర్ ఒకటి ఉంది అనుకోండి. సో ఇప్పుడు మనం ఏం చేస్తున్నాం, ఒక సిగ్నల్ ని మనం బఫర్ అని చెప్పి డిఫైన్ చేసాం. సో లెట్ ది లాజిక్ సర్క్యూట్ 1 and 2 టేక్ దిస్ వన్. సో ఇందుట్లో ఒక సిగ్నల్ ఏ అనేది ఉంది, ఇందుట్లో సిగ్నల్ బి అనేది ఒకటి ఉంది అనుకోండి. ఇప్పుడు ఏ సిగ్నల్ ఏం చేస్తున్నాం, బఫర్ అని డిఫైన్ చేశాను, అండ్ ఇక్కడ బి సిగ్నల్ ఏం చేశాను, సెకండ్ సర్క్యూట్ లో బఫర్ అని డిఫైన్ చేశాను. సో నౌ the A, it has only one source, that is B. So now the A and B, they can be act as a buffer. such that it can accept the data and it can read the data here. From these two, they will have the data exchange. That is, the A can accept the data from the B and the A can send the data to the B. Similarly, the B can accept the data from the A and the B can send the data to the A. So you understand that? So the input, in, out and buffer. In, out and buffer. These two are the same kind of signals. So they indicating that the signal can be input and output. But the difference between the in, out and buffer is, ఇన్ అయితే ఏమవుతుందంటే ఎలాంటి వేరే సిగ్నల్స్ 2-3 సిగ్నల్స్ ఇచ్చినా కూడా అవుతుంది. అంటే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇదే ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ని ఇన్ అవుట్ కింద తీసుకుంటే యూ హ్యావ్ 2 సిగ్నల్స్ ఇన్ ది సెకండ్ సర్క్యూట్ బి అండ్ సి. ఏ సర్క్యూట్ లో మీకు ఫస్ట్ సర్క్యూట్ లో ఏ సిగ్నల్ ని ఇన్ అవుట్ కింద డిఫైన్ చేశారు. ఇప్పుడు ఇన్ అవుట్ కింద డిఫైన్ చేయడం వల్ల ఇక్కడ ఏమైంది, బి నుంచి సిగ్నల్ ని యాక్సెప్ట్ చేస్తుంది, సి నుంచి కూడా సిగ్నల్ యాక్సెప్ట్ చేస్తుంది. బికాస్ ద ఏ హ్యాస్ it is can accept the 2 different sources signals. But buffer ఎప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తుంది, ఇక్కడ ఒక సర్క్యూట్ లో ఉన్న సిగ్నల్ ని డిక్లేర్ చేసిన బఫర్ వేరే సర్క్యూట్ సిగ్నల్ లో డిక్లేర్ చేసిన బఫర్ సిగ్నల్ తో మాత్రమే డేటా ఎక్స్చేంజ్ అవుతుంది. అంతే తప్ప సి తో డేటా అనేది ఎక్స్చేంజ్ అవ్వదు. ఏ కేసులో, బఫర్ కేసులో. ఇఫ్ ఏ is defined as buffer, then the B is also must be deferred as it must be declared as a buffer signal. Then only the A and B can communicate with each other. Okay, so that is the VHDL signal modes. So in the entity syntax, so we have a signal modes. There are 4 reserved modes. The signal can be an input signal, or the signal can be defined as a output signal, or the signal can be defined as a input output, or it can be defined as a buffer signal. When you define it as an input signal, always it takes the data, it accepts the data into the entity. So it is a unidirectional port. And the output signal, so the out is also a unidirectional signal. It always write the data to the external device, it always sends the data to the out. So that is out signal. And then in and out, it can accept the data, it can send the data, it reads the data, or it can writes the data. అది తీసుకుంటుంది, ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేస్తుంది. బట్ బఫర్ కూడా ఏం చేస్తుంది, సేమ్ ఫంక్షన్ ఇన్ అవుట్ ఏం చేస్తుందో అదే చేస్తుంది. కాకపోతే డిఫరెన్స్ ఏంటంటే బఫర్ అనేది బఫర్ తోనే మాత్రమే కమ్యూనికేట్ అవుతుంది, ఇన్ అవుట్ సిగ్నల్ తో కమ్యూనికేట్ అవ్వదు. ఒక సిగ్నల్ ని ఇన్ అవుట్ కింద డిక్లేర్ చేసి ఒక సిగ్నల్ ని బఫర్ కింద డిక్లేర్ చేసి డేటా ఎక్స్చేంజ్ చేయమంటే డేటా అనేది నాట్ యాక్సెప్టెడ్, అంటే డేటా కెనాట్ బి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్డ్. అదే 2 సిగ్నల్స్ బఫర్ అయితే డేటా అనేది ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అవుతుంది. అది ఈ రెండిటి యొక్క మీనింగ్, ఇన్ అండ్ అవుట్ అండ్ బఫర్. అండ్ ది నెక్స్ట్ వన్, ది VHDL signal type. So if you remember the syntax of the entity, so in the syntax of the entity we have the signal type. A signal can be distinguished as a mode of the signal and the type of the signal. So that is, a signal can be defined as a input signal and a signal can be defined as a output or in out and buffer. So now when you define a signal as a input signal, and now the signal, the input signal can be any one of the type here. So that is the signal type. So the signal, input signal, it can be a bit type signal, or it can be a vector, bit vector type, or it can be a Boolean type, or it may be a integer type, it may be a real type, or even the signal is a time signal also, to define or to indicate the time. So from the syntax, the major points that we to remember this signal type and signal mode. And here the another point, important point is, in VHDL basically it uses the 4 signal types. VHDL basically it uses the 4 signal types. It uses the 4 signal types here. So they are logic 0, logic 1, and another one is unknown. Okay, unknown, and the you can say that the don't care condition. Unknown and the, so you can have the don't care condition, forcing unknown and uh, don't care condition. So these are the four basic type of signals that are available in VHDL here. But here there is a package called standard logic package, in which is defined by the IEEE. Standard logic. Standard logic. It is a package. If you are not using this standard logic package, you are allowed to use only any one of these four type of signals only. But if you use standard logic package in your VHDL code, this standard logic package will allow will allow the user to use the 9 different signal types. 9 different signal types. So you catch this point. So basically the VHDL has the only 4 signal types: 0, 1, U and X, unknown and X, uninitialized and unknown value, don't care condition. But if you use this standard logic, std underscore logic, it is a package. If you use this standard logic package, then the VHDL allows the user to use the 9 signal types here. So the 9 signal types are U, uninitialized value; X, forcing unknown value; 0, forcing 0; 1, forcing 1; and Z, high impedance; and W, weak unknown. So here the U is of X is a forcing unknown, right? It is a strong unknown, and there is a weak unknown is also available if you use the standard logic package. Weak unknown and weak 0, logic 0, weak logic 0, sorry, weak logic 0 and weak logic 1, and the last one is don't care here. Don't care is represented with the underscore. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and with underscore 9. So if you use the standard logic, package, then we can define a signal any one of the 9 values. If you are not declared this STLD logic package, standard logic package, then you are allowed to use only the first 4, 0, 1, U, X here. So that is the point you have to remember here. Okay, so you understand. So in the syntax, the VHDL signal models, so there are 4 signal models: in, out, and buffer. And the next one is the VHDL signal type. The signal type can be any one of these: the bit vector, boolean, integer, real and time. These are the signal types, and in which you can define the 9 values to any of the signal. So the signal may be the standard logic of the unknown value, or you can use the X. You can define with the 0, 1, Z, W, weak 0, weak 1 and the don't care value. These are the VHDL signal types. Okay, and the next one, see the entity declaration here. Previously we have seen one entity declaration where we have seen only the basic type of signal only we have observed, which means that only you will have the bit. Okay, only you will have the bit only. But if you see using this IEEE 116 standard signals. What is this 11664 standard signals? Which is nothing but the package STD, standard logic package. Standard logic package. So the standard logic package is defined by this IEEE 1164. Okay, so this is also given by the IEEE, and it refers with the standard logic family. So if you included the IEEE 1164 package in your code, in your VHDL code, then you can define the standard logic, and where the standard logic allows you to use the 9 different values here. ఓకే, మీరు ఎస్టిఎల్డి లాజిక్ ని మాత్రం యూస్ చేస్తేనే మీకు 9 డిఫరెంట్ వాల్యూస్ ని యూస్ చేసుకోవడానికి అవకాశం ఉంటుంది. అలా కాకుండా మీరు మీ ప్రోగ్రామ్ లో మీరు ఈ స్టాండర్డ్ లాజిక్ అనేది ఇంక్లూడ్ చేయలేదు అనుకోండి, ఏమవుతుంది అంటే మీకు 9 వాల్యూస్ అనేవి రావు. అక్కడ ఓన్లీ 1 or 2 వాల్యూస్ మాత్రమే మీకు విహెచ్డిఎల్ అలౌ చేస్తుంది. ఓకే, సో నౌ యూ కెన్ సీ ది డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ ది ఎంటిటీ డిక్లరేషన్ without the standard logic, with standard logic. If it is a without standard logic, so you can define with the, normally you can define with the bit value. But if you include the IEEE 1164 language 1164 package, then now we are no more defining it as a bit here. You are defining it as a standard logic. In standard logic, out standard logic, and out standard logic here. So which means that the standard logic now it has 9 values. The 9 values U, X, 0, 1, W, low, high, don't care values. 9 values here. Okay, so mostly we will use for our VHDL coding IEEE 1164 standard signals only. అందుకని మనం దీని గురించి ఇక్కడ మనం డిస్కస్ చేస్తుంది. Okay, so here you can see an example how the entity is declared. So here you can see how the entity is declared. We are no more using the bit. In the previous case you are defining the signal with the bit vector, but now we won't define with the bit and bit vector. We just simply define with the standard logic. If it is a vector, standard logic vector, you will come it as a standard logic vector. Okay, so that is entity declaration. And now consider an example for entity declaration. So here you can see the entity of a model, and you can see the architecture of a model. So what we can say for entity always describes the interfacing. It describes the input and output interfacing. So now see with the red color, if you observe, the red color box represents the entity, where the entity describing the number of inputs and the number of output, isn't it? So the entity has, so describing the 3 inputs and a single output here. A, B, C are the 3 inputs and output. What about the architecture? As we discussed that the architecture describes the internal behavior of that logic. It describes the internal behavior of that logic function. So now the architecture has a circuit internally with the 2 it has an internal circuit. If you see this circuit, what are the bubble input of AND gate? The bubble input of AND gate, it simply realize it as a NOR gate. It is simply the bubble input of a AND gate realizes as a simple NOR gate here. So now if you see this, the functionality of this circuit is, and the functionality of the circuit is, the A and B signals are logically not, and the resultant value is logically odd with the signal C. Isn't it right or wrong? So here from this example, the A and B signals are logically not because of the bubble input of NAND gate as the NOR gate, and the output of the NOR gate Okay, the output of the NOR gate is logically odd and it is producing the Y here. It is producing the Y. So now if you want to write the entity and architecture for this example, so how we can write the entity? So first we haven't discussed we haven't discussed the architecture. So now let's see the entity here. So for this example, how to write the entity here? So how to write the entity here? See, the entity declaration for the example. So the example is logic function, that we have the name, we have considered that logic function. So now see how to write the entity for the given logic function. The example is logic function. The name of the example itself, logic function. So now first what we do, so first we go with the a block diagram, right? We will go with the block diagram. So you will take a black box, and for that black box you are defining the number of inputs and number of outputs, that is A, B and C. So from that black box, so simply this is called the entity, right? We are not seeing of the any architecture, or we are not seeing any circuit in the entity. You're just looking the number of inputs and number of outputs. So now how to write the entity declaration here for this example? So first we have to write the library. So first we have to include the library to our VHDL code. So how we can include here? So how we can include here? Library IEEE semicolon. So which means that you are including a library which is of the IEEE. Okay, it is a library. A library may consist the different packages. A single library will consist the different packages here. Different packages. So the library is IEEE. From that IEEE library, we are using. So use is a keyword. Library is a keyword. Okay, the use. So use IEEE dot standard underscore logic underscore 1164.r. So what does it mean here? You have declared the IEEE library, and in that library you are using all the standard logic values here. Dot all means all the entire logic values in that std underscore logic 1164 package. So here it is a package declaration. So how to declare a library and how to declare a package. So here you are declaring the package. Use IEEE.std underscore logic 1164 dot all. Without these two declarations, even if you write the entity, it will not work for the simulation. So you must declare the library and then package. So that's why for any of the VHDL code, these two are the common things. So for writing of a VHDL code, first you have to write this library. I mean that you have to declare the library, and then you have to declare the package, right? And then the entity, you know the syntax. So recall the syntax. So entity is a keyword, and the entity name. What is the entity name that we have considered? It is a logic function. In a short form, you have logic FCN, logic function is port. And what is the keyword of port? The port is used to define the inputs and outputs of the system. So now for the given example, the inputs are A, B, C are the inputs and Y is the output. Now declare the signals here. The A is declared as in mode. It is the type of in mode, right? Because the A is a input signal in mode. And what is the type of signal here? It is a standard signal. When you take it as a standard signal, it will be either 0 or 1. It accepts only one bit of information. It is not vector. Okay, and the B signal is declared, and the C signal is declared, and the C signal is declared. And now the final one is the output signal. So see output signal Y, and which is the mode of the out and the standard logic. It is also a single bit of line. It is not a vector group of signals. ఎందుకంటే అవుట్పుట్ లో ఒకటే సిగ్నల్ ఉంది కాబట్టి అది స్టాండర్డ్ లాజిక్, which means that either 0 or 1. And now to observe that, so for the last signal declaration we have to keep the semicolon after the bracket. It is not to be at here. It is not to be at. It is wrong. Okay, it is wrong. So you have to keep after the bracket and then end logic function. So this is how to write the entity declaration for any logic circuit. So first you have to take the block diagram, and for that block diagram specify the number of inputs and number of outputs. So list the inputs and outputs and then you write the entity declaration. Without that block diagram we cannot write the entity here, because the block diagram that describes the input and output ports of that model. Is it clear? Is it clear? ఎంటిటీ అన్నది ఎలా రాయాలని అర్థం అవుతుందా? ఇట్ ఈస్ అ వెరీ సింపుల్ వన్. ఎంటిటీ అన్నది మీకు ఎంటిటీ రాయాలంటే ఏం కావాలి? ఒక బ్లాక్ డయాగ్రామ్ కావాలి. ఆ బ్లాక్ డయాగ్రామ్ కి ఏం చేయాలి? మీరు ఇన్పుట్స్ ని అవుట్పుట్స్ ని డిఫైన్ చేయాలి. ఇన్పుట్స్ అవుట్పుట్ డిఫైన్ చేసిన తర్వాత మీరు ఏం చేయొచ్చు? విహెచ్డిఎల్ కోడ్ రాయాలి. విహెచ్డిఎల్ కోడ్ రాసేటప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తారు? కంపల్సరీ ఫస్ట్ లైబ్రరీని డిక్లేర్ చేయాలి. లైబ్రరీ తర్వాత ఏం డిక్లేర్ చేయాలి? ప్యాకేజ్ డిక్లేర్ చేయాలి. ప్యాకేజ్ డిక్లేర్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఏం చేయాలి? ఎంటిటీ అన్నది డిక్లేర్ చేయాలి. ఎంటిటీలో మనం ఏం చేస్తున్నాం? ఎంటిటీ విత్ ది ఎంటిటీ నేమ్. యూ కెన్ టేక్ ఎనీ ఆఫ్ యువర్ విష్ యాజ్ యూ లైక్. యూ కెన్ టేక్ ద నేమ్ ఆఫ్ ది మోడల్. అండ్ ది నెక్స్ట్ ఈజ్ పోర్ట్. సో పోర్ట్ అనేది ఏం చేస్తుంది? మీ యొక్క ఇన్పుట్ అవుట్పుట్ సిగ్నల్స్ ని డిక్లేర్ చేస్తుంది. డిక్లేర్ చేసేటప్పుడు వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ పాయింట్ ఏంటి? దాని మోడ్ ని డిఫైన్ చేయాలి, అలాగే టైప్ ఆఫ్ సిగ్నల్ ని డిఫైన్ చేయాలి. Once if you done that, once if you done, then final aim vastundi end the entity. So you are ending the entity or the entity declaration with the keyword end with the entity name. So this is how to write the entity declaration for any digital model. Okay, and we will discuss the VHDL architecture in our next class.